Peg on. No! Change it! That's the Draven! That's really one of the important things here for Aframu to kind of play around, because he can see the stacks at all times. He knows don't take a trade if you're about to get stunned by a stack. And also level 6, watch out for that all-in from Pekka. There is exhaust on both sides.
Yeah, if you're new to 1v1s and you don't see any flashes or snowballs, it's because they're very gimmicky. You do not want to run flash in a 1v1. Combat summoners galore, you usually see exhaust ignite, and if you're maybe a mage, it could be exhaust and barrier if you're playing for the minion game.
Exactly. If you play for 100 CS because you're boring, you go barrier. If you actually want to go for the kills, you can take some more offensive summoners, ignite, exhaust in this case here.
Yeah. The race for level 2 is important, just like in bot lane. It's the 7 creep here. You can compare it to like a mid lane matchup. First wave drops in, and the first creep of the second wave is where you can level up, and then obviously go in for a good trade while you have an extra spell up versus your opponent.
And what we see right here on your screen, guys, this is where Europe is the experts, because they have been practicing these like push things, and then you face check and you see who wins out. Pekka might just see if he can get a little bit of damage. Oh, he spots him with the sweeper.
And the push starts. Draven can actually push pretty hard level 1 with the axe spam. Pekka trying to catch up.
As long as you're like keeping up, you should be able to get level 2 as well by the time he stepped forward to kind of give you a hit. But yeah, Dravens love to get that level 2, speed themselves up, get a few extra auto attacks in.
Yeah, good trade both sides. 1 axe versus 1 W proc. There's a CS behind, but honestly, I don't think this match will get to CS max here. So there's poke from Expecke, but Aframu is poised. 1 more axe to that creep, and then the next melee creep that dies will make it so that Aframu's level 2.
Pekka can take down the last caster minion next to that melee and just even it out. So both gonna get 2. Yeah. No one gets any crazy all-ins just yet. Aframu might want to get all 3 spells first.
But definitely want the speed boost to follow up after you throw that E out.
And that was actually not the best trade, because you already had a stack on him. Stepping in and start trading and getting stunned by Pekka, and it's super, super even so far. But I think Aframu kind of knows, like, level 6 for him, using his ulti effectively in a big one-on-one is very difficult.
You only get half of the damage by the time it returns. Sidestep, Aframu going
all in.
Exhaust.
See, trading back and forth. Aframu's going down!
No, he's down!
Aframu disrespecting the stun 2 times in a row.
KO! He falls down. Pekka, that's the kid.
I think Aframu kind of knew. See, like the 80 carries against the Bruises quite a bit in this tournament, and every single time is like the same way it's gonna get played out. The 80 carry will push and get CS advantage and try and win on 100 CS, and the Bruiser wants to try and all in after he has a few levels under his belt.
Oh wow, he's actually going Corruption Potion. Definitely.
Is he insane or is he a genius?
There's a fine line between courage and stupidity. Let's see where Impact is at. I guess he just wants to sustain. So
yes.
The problem in 1v1s in poor matchups that require all in is that you get put in a deficit. Obviously now he can just put an axe in Mouse's face, sidestep. The problem is that you can eat such a large CS deficit early that when you all in, you're just an item down, like a component at least.
Right, I mean, like a Doran's Blade or something like that. Sure, luckily you only need to farm like around the 500 gold to go back and get that one item. And in 1v1s like these, you never see a fully completed item. And getting to 100 CS as well, it takes quite a lot of time. Which means there is enough time to get like level 6, 7, 8 for someone like Olaf, and then really go for the all-in. But already at level 3, his damage output should be equal to what Mouse has.
Yeah.
Problem is, he's against a barrier and he has a ghost, which doesn't add any combat value.
I definitely want to wait until maybe level 5. Or honestly do 2 all-ins, one where you pop the summoners, what we see very often. Mouse here, he got control early. Basically you want to queue through. Oh, Impact is actually going in.
Oh, he's going with the axe level 1 spam!
There's minions hitting him plus exhaust.
Oh, Impact, he realized, okay, I got minions on me, I'm not winning this trade, he still has barrier.
But honestly, he's about to get level 2 poked anyways, with Mouse dashing in aggressively with a level advantage. So he kept the trade on level 1 versus level 1. He burned equal summoners. Honestly, I think it was a pretty smart from Impact, because now the Corruption Potion is ticking in as well.
We'll have more sustain for himself. Mouse obviously can try and get a little bit of an HP back with just auto-attacking the minions. But the fact that there's still a barrier means that Impact really has to be careful if he tries to all in. There's a lot of minions as well.
Yeah, and we see the kind of practice here, what you want to do as well with AoE abilities. You want to last hit a minion, or hit a minion at least for the push.
Take the heal. There we go.
And you always want to make sure that you hit the enemy champion as well there. Double dibs rather. While you push, you want to be poking him. Mouse does it well. He's got a CS advantage. It would be stupid for him to be bold, because he can back and always get more items.
Yeah, and now you know, while the engage from Impact made sense and he could then sustain with Corruption Potion, Mouse had really good timing on the Relic obviously spawning and being right next to it, so he picked that one up, still had the defensive Summoner ready, and now with Warlord's Bloodlust as well on an 80 carry. When you drop low, it's a bit like when Olaf drops low, yeah, you get a little bit stronger in that sense, because you can then sustain back up very, very easily, and now you get that double Thorns against just a longsword.
But that's what we are always going to see, is an inherent kind of small gold advantage in this 80 carry versus Bruiser matchup early on, because the 80 carry will get the push, which means you poke him on a tower. The Bruiser cannot sustain himself. Impact right now is taking away the Relic, that's good. But he is down an extra item in essence, because it's a sword on each side, a sustain item, and then an additional Thorns on the side of Mouse.
And Impact will have to wait for his Summoners again. So Mouse knows there's a bit of time here where he can just keep like farming and pushing. See if he can poke Impact low as well, or at least get him down to like a 50%. So he really has to be careful when he tries to all in. So overall, Mouse is in a very good spot at the moment. Just can't really start sleeping and suddenly get caught by too many axes.
Yeah, it is just the second Impact decides to pick up one of those axes and chain them together. That's when Mouse needs to realize he's in a lot of trouble. So watch him keep the maximum distance, hopefully for him. But Lucian is a pretty short-range 80 carry that can get baited in by an Olaf.
Luckily for Mouse though, again, if he always like saves the dash, if he knows, okay, right now Impact can't engage because there's so many minions, you can dash aggressively. Otherwise, you save it. The first axe that flies at you, you dodge that one, and then you can actually start kiting backwards and wait for either tower or more minions to be there.
And we saw Mouse do exactly that at the end of the previous wave. Once it was done, he knew Impact couldn't fight back in a full wave of minions, so he just did an EQ combo with double tap on each end.
And just a few seconds on exhaust now for Impact. He's landed a little bit of poke onto Mouse. Is down a level at the moment, but will catch up very, very soon.
I think level 5 is the way to go for Impact, because otherwise he'll trail too far behind on CS. Level 6, Lucian gets culling, which is really good in short range. So we might see Impact go for another all-in. The second hits level 5. There he goes.
Goes straight for him. Mouse is exhausted, actually. There's a Relic behind him, but can he get to it?
Is it enough?
Oh, he needs to get to tower.
Not enough.
Not enough. Barrier. He's a tower.
Is it enough?
Oh my god!
That was exactly the breaking point, because imagine if there was a culling while he was kiting forward, get stronger, and you also saw it in the cadence of the Corruption Potions. He popped up until the very end, so he started the fight with full HP. Here's the barrier, but at this point, Impact, one lost hit.
Yeah, and another look for Chica, he didn't actually manage to absorb strong champion if he can keep the distance. So we got Cautious to the side. He's not hitting the minions, so he's not pushing. And that means Bjergsen can actually dodge around a little bit easier. Can be hard to spot him in there as well. And then he can jump out with hammer form and try and get the all-in.
Definitely so. Both players will need to bide their time and kind of fire at the right moment. We also see, because these champions have very predictable damage, that these guys are running barrier and exhaust, because it's really easy to time when you need to exhaust a Jace. And you can then barrier to shock blast.
Well, Bjergsen got in first. He's in there.
Bad.
Straight on to Dylan, man. A lot of damage. You can, of course, recall. Can you? Yes, you can.
You're actually allowed. Yeah, I was like, I was like, what's happening here? He can't recall.
That's why they can get items, Crepo, and not, you know, die and then have to go back. So losing that little trade didn't matter too much for Klilov. He will return in time, maybe slightly, but actually, this will cost him a little bit on the first push, because he's behind his minions coming in. Bjergsen will get a bit of damage on the melees.
And that's everything in this matchup, because even a full arrow through the minion wave, Jace can just fast push. The second you kill one creep first, the way the waves interact is so it is going to cascade here. Bjergsen will immediately take a creep down.
Well, Klilov did start E, so he can actually AoE on more of the minions, but he didn't hit Bjergsen, and he didn't hit a minion, so this was actually a really poor use of his first ability.
Yeah, notice how Bjergsen used auto attack on the melee creep as well, and then obviously Q's the backline for massive AoE bonus. Now he's going to slow down because he wants to keep his spells for his enemy, or for the opponent rather.
Yeah, and another thing, especially when you play Jace, but Varus actually suffers a little bit from the same issue, is mana. You can't just sit there and spam abilities on the minions over and over, because then you run out of mana, and then you can't really do a whole lot. Good little trade there. You got the thing Crepo talked about earlier, caster minions and Klilov.
And that's what you want to do, and then later on you're going to use that same gate to speed yourself up and just whack him in the face. Right now it is just a control for the push. Another E miss, which means the counterattack from Bjergsen.
Yeah, and you can see the thing we talked about earlier as well. Like, Bjergsen is constantly walking in and out of the brush on the side. So when Klilov did fire his E to try and hit him, he's not 100% sure where he is, and he's not hitting minions, so he's not getting any counter push at all. And Bjergsen just using the brushes really well in the start.
Yeah, and usually if a lane meets up on your side of the map, push that, but Bjergsen immediately wants to fire down. Now goes in for the hammer.
And now sees mana. Has to go back and take the relic. Klilov got it his relic as well.
This could be the counter push, because obviously, much better position for Krylov here to attack that wave.
And he's level 3 as well already. Bjergsen got his level 3 now, and Krylov again.
Is he running experience then? Because there wasn't any experience missed by Bjergsen. Krylov must actually be running experience runes then.
Yeah, we have seen that before. We saw it once in the IWCA. Early rush for level 3 and then a full all-in. Definitely is a possibility here in the showdown.
You would think it would happen more in the kind of all-in matches. That spike at level 3 or 4. He's this matchup at least spikes on 6, not earlier at all.
You can also see how there's a difference in potions for both of them. Obviously, Biscuits from Bjergsen to get a little bit of extra sustained mana. But right now, he's losing out on some of these trades. He's gotten a bit of mana back. Krylov has now lost most of his, but he's obviously traded it for HP on the Jade.
Yeah, if Krylov can keep his wave posture here and save some mana up to threaten Bjergsen if he goes for the relic, and he's in prime position to really take control and force the first beneficial back for himself here.
Very even in farm. Bjergsen will try and get these, but it is different. Last hitting here, you saw the one caster minion actually go down, because the way it works on this map, the caster minions, one tower shot, and then they're all the way down to like 5, 10, and you have to last hit them instantly. Otherwise, you don't get them.
Look at Bjergsen here. He knows he's not going to trade, so he just goes for the fast push on the cannon wave, knowing that it'll take time for his opponent to deal with it. Krylov could leave this in a freeze and base, but you generally don't want to do that in the 1v1 map. But look, he's trying to struggle.
Good interrupting though. Very nice. Very good.
Smart base by Bjergsen, but now he has to kind of get the advantage himself. Do the same thing again. Wants to keep pushing in and get the reset here if you're Bjergsen.
So far, no all-in. Very hard, honestly, for both champions to all-in with Barrier and Exhaust on the other side. Bjergsen constantly sitting on very low mana. Just going, but he has some minions hitting him.
A little bit of minion block here. Krylov
got the slow. Can he get in range for Exhaust as well?
Sweeper.
Oh, he has no mana for anything. Oh, he gets him. The Q and the auto attack after.
If you get a Q headshot that you can barrier, maybe it's...
That didn't go too well. So automatically you put some of the
emphasis
on Levy here, because he has played a lot of like these maps here. Because I actually talked to Clement, and in the Southeast Asian region, and especially in Vietnam, where these players are from, they actually really love 1v1s. They play them a lot. They say it's like one of the favorite game modes. I don't think the European players spend too much time 1v1ing. And good early start from Levy here, getting 2 early traps in.
So, because what this does, and a lot of people don't know, is that Mithy is now going to lose access to the wave early. Obviously, Levy will have to attack the same creep over and over. Mithy could start with Q. He has now skill trap as well, but he has lost kind of the momentum here. Let's see what he wants to do. So double trap start. Caitlyn's back in the day used to start Q for pushing. The problem is with a mana gated map, it is not ideal to do so. Especially if the Caitlyn plays out of the wave, because you can never then get the wave and the Caitlyn at the same time.
Mithy does have Green Filer's gift though. If he can actually step out and just trade like one auto attack with Levy, it would be in Mithy's favor, just ever so slightly here. The game will not be decided level 1 when it's Kate versus Kate. Not exactly an all-in champion.
Yeah, he started Q. Clicked on the wrong Caitlyn.
Once again, the casters are getting baited.
Yep.
Time to retire, Mitch. You and me both.
Become an observer. So Mithy looking to utilize that Q to get the push going early. Good trades in between auto attacks. That's what you always want to do. The problem is that Mithy, if he forgets about these traps being placed in the brushes next to him, he may pay the price later on. Obviously, he has a little bit of access to the wave earlier.
And notice how, again, he's just using Q on minions. Like, he knows, yes, I could try and hit the other Caitlyn, but that damage difference probably won't make that big of a difference. But getting the push advantage, especially if you can get these minions on the tower, where the tower will take some of them, you can suddenly get a bit of a CS lead.
Yeah, and he's definitely being rewarded for the push, because the traps behind him are slowly fading away. Again, at least hitting 1 minion at a time, so when it does get sidestepped, just like you said, there is still value there. Pushing on.
But this is not the most exciting matchup. Like, Kate versus Kate is very much a farm fest normally, and then seeing, can I poke the guy down enough so he has to go back to base, take like a bad recall, and then maybe try some super risky trade in the end. But it's so hard for both these Caitlyn's to actually like all in each other.
Yeah, that's why it's up to us right now to kind of highlight the nuances. Levy going in for an E auto attack trade right there, because he knows he has to stay in on the back end. That will fill up his mana again, so he may as well try for it. You never want to overtap your mana when you go for the crystals. If he still has the push. Remember, Caitlyn can stack headshot much faster into brushes. That's why Mithy is always staying away from the other brush. Obviously, the fact that you can get auto attacks reset as well.
Oh, he really wants to get in there and smack him with the headshot, but Levy just staying just out of range, and We've been on this side for quite a while now.
Yeah, and that's kind of the cadence, you know. See headshot, step away from the vehicle, walk up for EQ combo. That's a good combo by Levy here. EQ into, obviously, the headshot that gets generated for free when you land that E. He takes some damage, and now the next wave comes in much sooner for the side of Fire because it is near their tower, which means Levy can kind of turn the push around. If you trade long enough auto versus auto, the next wave will arrive when your initial wave isn't cleared out yet, and you will bounce the wave.
And I really like that I call it there from Levy, just saying like I can go in and actually use my full rotation, where Mythia's just been trying to poke the Qs over and over, hit like 1 or 2 only during the game. So Levy got that advantage going, and missing this one, sadly for him.
No.
Oh, this one is good though. Getting the barrier from Mythi. No mana from Levy. Now both of them will start sustaining with Warlords.
Yeah, obviously, sometimes it is good to use barrier, not in all-in, but just to make sure that you can...
Again, there is barely any all-in, you know. It really is a poke game. So yeah, if you do trade your barrier for some of his mana in some of these pokes, and maybe like 1 hit in return, good trade from Mythi there, but he's still slightly down.
And this means the first base goes to Levy, which means he can then control the next wave again with those items extra. He will likely choose the base here at the end, because otherwise, if Mythi gets the bounce, the same thing will happen that we saw in the clear-off match.
It is just very hard though, getting like an item advantage when it's 33 to 31 CS here. Even if he gets like 1 or 2 CS advantage, you end up just going like Dorans, and then like another potion coming in, and then you kind of go even anyway.
It honestly pays off at the end. If you get 2 of these situations where you base successfully, you'll get more items, which gives more pressure at the end if you're racing to 100 CS.
Ooh.
Or you can take a tower shot. That also works.
Let's just say it was the disrespect tower shot. Showing Mythi, I don't need this HP. I can take a tower shot. I can still beat you.
I wonder if he should have based there. He had like 1.8k gold. Definitely went for it. Maybe he wants to base on the cannon wave.
I mean, that's the important thing here, right? You know, they've been farming for such a long time. You can actually get BF swords, or you can aim for sustain instead and get some more lifesteal and not just value the full damage.
Look how Levy's also is playing a brush here. So despite having no mana, he's getting more headshots per wave, which means he can start pushing. I don't think the tower is really the objective in this matchup.
No, definitely not. It is hoping that Mythi either misses a CS because of the tower, or Mythi's busy last hitting a CS when Levy can then hit him once or twice for free. Now he's taking a lot of minions to try and get the relic. Oh!
Down to level 6.
And no barrier.
No barrier.
Used before, Levy just with enough damage. And great understanding of how much damage he could actually do.
LeBlanc advances forward. She's playing in the minion wave as well, where she kind of has to...
She can just always close the gap so easily against the Twitch. Like, yes, he can outrage her for like 1 or 2 hits.
I mean, that might be enough. I mean, this champion is very squishy. Exhaust is king on the Howling Abyss.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ignite comes out. There's double if not going for heal, obviously, because that gets countered by Ignite a lot on these matches. Remember, these guys usually have actual blind pick. That's why we very rarely see a heal.
Doublelift makes it into the bush first. It gets
That's really good.
a few hits up, but again, Wayless can recall.
Yeah, he can base, but having control of second brush is important.
And
Twitch poisons.
the poison actually making it harder for Wayless to recall. So by the time he's back in base now, minions should be ready to spawn and might cost him just a little bit in the end, because there's the minions.
It doesn't matter that he's in time for experience. It matters that he loses right to first engagement on the wave, which means Doublelift will have the push going. And that is very needed for Twitch.
Yeah.
If you push in an 80 carry like Twitch, he's going to suffer.
And one of the big things, especially when one guy is slightly behind on how fast they make it to the middle, is if you can make it into the second brush, like the enemy's brush, it's so easy for you to like weave in and get like, again, that green file gives extra auto attack on them, making it much harder for them. Chain first from Wayless does deal a lot of damage if you get the second proc.
It works if you're behind, because you know this 80 carry is going to kind of start walk up on you. Like right there, but Doublelift still had to push. Notice how he did. Once he's 1 minion ahead, he knows he can actually go for little trades in between as well. That's strong from Doublelift.
Yeah, what Doublelift also can do in this matchup, now that it's against an AP champion, is go Hexstring.
Of course.
Which is so huge with Hexstringer, Barrier, Exhaust. Like, there's so many defensive tools against like a lot of burst from another champion, making it much easier for him to win trades. But that's obviously in 1300, 1400 gold.
Yeah, we're also about to witness the main weakness of a LeBlanc pick is CSing on a turret. Really hard to do so if you're not having access to continuous mana pool.
Yeah, we talked about how the tower works with the caster minions. With the melee minions, it's actually even more annoying because the tower will deal about 50% damage on the melee minions. So if you don't hit it at all, the tower will just take it down on the second shot. And there's nothing you can do against it.
Wayless went for a W that lasted a minion at the same time and hit Doublelift, but his E missed, which gives Doublelift the preferential trade. He needs to keep this wave position like this though. He's waiting for the minion, the relic to spawn. He gets it. These guys obviously have practiced a metric ton of games, so they know exactly when this relic comes out.
Yeah, LeBlanc will keep missing CS on the tower 100%. And also allowing Double to throw the poison down exactly where he did it here. So Wayless has to decide between standing in the poison and getting the last hit.
But Double just took a shot there. That's the problem. This poison will continuously give you tower aggro the second you step forward, because Double was setting up to punish Wayless when he went for a CS, but the tower triggered a lot earlier than he expected.
And this was huge, because Double instantly used Exhaust. Wayless kept his. He went for like a bait all-in, where he goes for the summoner spell, jumps instantly back, and now, because he has Distortion, he can close the gap again with Exhaust.
He can go for a fake base into Q.
Oh, he tried to.
Because the chain is down. If he
use the sweeper. There we go. Damn, I got so into that.
Don't yell that loud, man. Yeah! You can hear. They're like really close.
Got the spot. That's why you go with sweeper. You actually can't go any ward trinkets anyway, because they wouldn't make any sense on this map here. And Wayless again, he wants to jump in with Distortion, Exhaust onto Double Lift, and try and all in him in that potential trade, but there is still barrier for the Twitch.
Well, this is going to be a big punish. Second, the W misses here. The momentum shifts to Double Lift. The lane is neutral right here. Double Lift has access to the creeps earlier. Look, yeah, he's just going to use that W for wave clear. Double Lift taking control again on the matchup.
Definitely, but Wayless constantly moving forward. It seems like he wants a bit of poke damage. Now Double Lift will have to be so careful, because Wayless can actually engage and take him down. I like how Wayless is playing like the poke game. It looks like he's all-inning every time, but he instantly jumps back.
Yeah, Double Lift sitting on 1,200 gold, going to base here.
Bought a Thorn's Blade, and then we're like, whoops, wrong item, sold it again. And of course, it's going towards Hexstringer. Wayless might have to just push this out and go back, because he doesn't want to be this many items down. But once level 6 first, most likely.
Reset the wave as well, but look at how annoying it is for LeBlanc. She never wants to use spells with the waves.
Yeah, and she's actually too far away from level 6 to get it before Double is back in this lane here. So he's not really losing out on anything, and he is going to get quite an advantage on CS.
Yeah, he could actually just freeze here too, to deny a couple of creeps. But again, this is not in the matchup where it goes to 100 CS. If this was a 100 CS matchup, a freeze would deny about 4 creeps by the time Wayless is back. But it would put you on the risk of then having to CS on a tower. You would only freeze if you have an AoE champion that then can then immediately clear out the wave.
And now if you guys look at the items, you see Double Lift had to spend all his gold on actual items and no sustain in here other than what he gets from the Dorn's Blades here. Where Wayless actually managed to get some sustain with the potion, and that can be very important when he's jumping in and poking and then jumping back and trying to out-sustain a little bit.
We are looking at a minor experience advantage for Double Lift, though. This may just end once he hits level 6. He is super close right now. You guys can't see it from the camera. He's obviously blocking it.
I really like that trade from Wayless there. He jumps in with the W, so he applies his Signal of Malice, the passive now. Oh, we'll actually see if they're going all in.
3 chains.
He can go for it. Just go for it, man. One more hit. Almost 2.
Playing against a champion that gets rewarded even more for repetitive auto attacks, which is Draven.
Yes. So I think BB can just take Q at like level 5 and then just straight up ulti level 6.
So yeah, so usually when you have these matchups that break down at level 6 into a clear advantage for one player, you would say that the all-in timing is either level 4 or 5. For the Olaf, it was 5 previous game. I think the Draven might have a window at 4. 2 points into Axe, 1 W to speed up, 1 E to kind of displace Orianna in a position. Because again, BB doesn't have a way to kind of get out of the E either if he gets knocked kind of forward.
It's just so hard for Optimus in this matchup because BB obviously running a second defensive summoner, kind of knowing that as well. So when that all-in will happen, Optimus has to be so sure that he can actually take down BB. Otherwise, he's going to face like the barrier and the exhaust. BB's going to shield himself and then just walk out. And then wait for level 6 where he can very easily shockwave onto Optimus.
This is definitely the build that we've seen before. It's the shield start on BB, repetitive auto attacks, only going to get stronger over time. And that's why it speaks at the level 4 all-in as well, because level 5, there is that extra point, giving more armor.
And that's really the thing, like early game, ranking up skills is just like the best power spikes you can possibly get until we talk about things like BF Sword. It's so important just getting that extra skill. It's often, you know, 40, 50 like extra damage or 30 extra damage on certain things.
Yeah, Optimus didn't really control the direction of his axes well enough, so he dropped 1 CS.
Yeah, the only advantage he got from like level 1 was he got the first hit onto BB.
Oh, he dropped like 3 CS in total.
But that's been even out. BB loses some CS on the tower.
Yeah, this is level 2, obviously 7 creep as usual. Level 2 onto Draven. You want to challenge, but there's no range to punish BB there.
No, and the thing about Orianna and this build they always go for, the one we saw at IWCA was E max and then W, and you just sped up yourself and you started like auto-attacking a little bit. BB in this one has actually picked command attack, the Q right now, so he's looking to fire the ball away and then pull it back. He actually didn't do it here.
Yeah.
Ball first and pull back shield, but he wanted the instant shield for the auto-attack.
Unless he wants to, he might forget about it, unless he just wants to move the ball again later on for more damage. Or he just wants the mana to pick it up if he thinks the pass back damage isn't worth the mana he spent.
Yeah, Optimus in good position here to get that relic. Very, very important, especially against like a mage who does use quite a lot of mana. Good trade from Optimus.
He's committing.
There's still barrier, there's still barrier. He's on the tower, one more hit. He got baited! He got baited so hard, Optimus! He's running away, he has the wall odds, he will get the relic. BB saved the barrier again. We've seen this before. You save it for such a long time and then you just use it on the tower.
Yeah, you obviously want to shield early, then bait the barrier, and then get the second shield if you can. We saw the mechanic of the pass-through damage as well. BB staying really calm right there, knowing that he can fire back with that barrier.
And that's the thing we talked about before, you know, how hard it is for Draven to like all in because it's barrier, it's a shield, it's an exhaust, like it's so many defensive tools you have to power through when there could be minions hitting you, you're taking some auto-attack trades back, and you don't want to step on the tower.
And obviously this command attack will help ever so slightly to help you push as well, since it is an AoE effect. BB is pretty low on mana, so definitely wants to conserve it for the best moment possible. Optimus is relentlessly pushing. If he ever gets the push turned around, it is over for him, because then BB can control until level 6 here.
And now we also have to remember, barrier is the summoner spell with like the lowest cooldown. It's 180 seconds. Where exhaust is 210. So BB will get his barrier before Optimus gets his summoners, making that window Optimus maybe could have had for all-inning when he gets his summoners back, basically non-existent.
Yeah. And look at BB, when he doesn't need to pick up the ball, he doesn't snap it back immediately. He's comfortably farming as well. Optimus looks like he has missed his window for the all-in on level 4/5. So he'll likely have to base eventually.
Yeah.
Keeping the creeps out of the tower, because we talked about it earlier, it is very hard to CS under that turret.
Exactly. Good position from BB here, just kind of tanking the minions for like one hit only just to stop them in the middle. And then his own minion shows up and kind of blocks them from moving further.
Helps you bounce the wave as well. That's what BB is looking for. Any mistake from Optimus in terms of wave positioning, getting the wave to bounce. So that's why he's continuously auto-attacking these creeps. Just wants to get rid of that wave ASAP, hoping that eventually, if he trades a little bit with Optimus as well, on the good moments, that the next wave arrives much sooner.
Trade again here from Optimus, and he kind of needs some of these trades, but you notice how BB is not even using his W, because it's technically a waste of mana for the small amount of damage it deals. He has 2 ranks in Q and 2 ranks in E, so he just like Qs forward, pulls it back with the E, and then he just starts auto-attacking. He's waiting for level 6 right now. There's no way for Draven to dodge a shockwave, meaning BB can decide when to engage.
I mean, at this point, level 6 seems to arrive before summers come up. Should Optimus then not just base? Honestly, pick up the Null Magic. I think that's what he's doing exactly. He knows, like, the level 6 is coming.
Oh, BB actually sending
They're one creep off, guys.
Not pulling him back, so gets 1 minute. That's 6 for Optimus. He knows that BB will hit level 6 as well. And he just wants to get...
wave clear.
He wants to get out of there. He knows he can get all in. Doesn't want to risk it.
Oh, BB could leave this on a freeze and just base. Because this is a matchup where you can actually punish with freeze.
Like he's disagreeing. Maybe he needs like just a little bit of extra gold for his back.
So he wanted the cannon. He didn't want to lose that. This won't freeze, but it'll softly position the wave here, allowing for a bounce. Because now Orianna, once she gets a bit more damage as well on the base of those spells, that's why putting extra points in Q helps you with the shove. But it's all out. Bought every sword in the store. Basically walked in. Optimus, give me all the blades you have here.
He needs just all-in damage. His summoners are ready. He knows what's going to happen if he just keeps playing this like very slow game. BB does have attack speed boots here.
Is that worth it? In terms of like cost efficiency?
They did obviously get buffed a few patches ago, and they are actually a fine like item on its own for just pure attack speed. Also, if he does feel like the extra mobility can help him kind of decide if he needs to back away from a fight.
That's definitely true.
Definitely just value though getting the attack speed first of all. No AP damage or anything from BB. It's all focused on auto-attacking right now.
But look at the ball zone right now. This game has changed from a kind of you can't hit me because I have the ball on me to please be careful if you walk around. Mind the ball, really. BB snaps it back the second he goes into trade positions again. Look at Optimus. He could keep trading, but he knows if he pulls the trigger there, he's going to get ultied, and that's a zone. This is slowly turning into a kind of CS game where BB has the lead because he has much more zone impact.
Exactly, and that's one really important thing. Like when you play these things that has like skill shots that can like CC and hit, if you just keep them ready, like don't just use them blindly or crazy. Like if you just keep them ready, you can actually just bait the other guy. But they're all in, Crepo.
Going in here, Draven ulti. BB needs to reset badly.
Oh, Optimus not chasing because he was also slowed down. Gets the speed up. He needs Shockwave.
That was so close to missing. That's the saving grace here for BB. He now needs to levy this into a push. Needs the minions to help him because if there's 6-7 creeps here and a brush, then he can just do that. And that's what Beb is doing right there. He does not want to yield.
Pushes it out here. Use both summoners on both sides. There's a defensive Shockwave from BB. Obviously doesn't deal that much damage. Let's trade another small trade. But yeah, it's really hard for BB to like take down Optimus in time, and the CS is 61 to 61.
Because he gave it over.
Right
with this play, he gave the CS lead again, and that changes the entire scope of things. It doesn't matter what the lead is if it's just a single CS. Really good recovery from Optimus here, and we can question those boots too. Imagine if they were just funneled into either AP or just raw damage on your auto attacks from the Orianna.
I think definitely BB was aiming to kind of win on 100 CS. Because again, what you saw, what we talked a little bit about before, like he kept the Shockwave just ready.
Because of the implication.
Yeah, exactly because of the implication. Like Optimus knew, if I do step forward, he can Shockwave me. So just kept it there, didn't want to use it for damage or anything. No trade from Optimus though. Does have a cannon hitting him as well.
Good cycling on the axis here. BB's out of mana here. And this is actually what Optimus wants right now. Because the second this Orianna is out of mana, you're just comparing AD. He's pushed under the turret. Really good chokehold right now from Optimus.
Yeah, and he's also able to get these relics. Right, he knew he had one behind him. He could use some mana, use some HP, go back and pick it up.
This is where if you're BB, you just back, you get any item you want, and you're looking for an all-in under 20 CS, and that's a bad base timing right here. Or a bad base location, rather. Because again, now you're still going to lose on CS, but the gap is closing. Now you only have 20 CS left to make a play.
Yeah, you're the one who needs to all-in now, and you're against the guy with double Doran.
You need mana, just base. There's no way he's going to get the victory on CS. He just has to go.
Not the same place, dude.
He's looking for a QR combo.
Maybe he's trying to bait it up.
Yeah, he's literally baiting QR under turret. That's it. It's 100.
I don't think he has mana for it.
135.
He just used all his mana on the shield now, so he's out of mana. There's no relic, and if it spawns, Optimus can pick it up because he's already positioned right next to it. BB, you're running out of time.
I mean, he's running out of options. He should have probably based farther back on the turret and looked for an all-in at this point. Because right now, Optimus is just controlling it slowly.
Oh, he's in tower. He's going for the all-in. That is so risky. You just had the entire game in the bag. You were winning.
65 mana right now.
All right, BB is going back now. Barrier is ready very soon for BB. No summoners for Optimus the next like 30 seconds. But we're getting very close to our first 100 CS game. That's 3 minions here for Optimus, so he goes on to 90.
So he needs to get 10 out of the next 2 waves. It's not a cannon wave. I think they spawn every 3 waves.
Well, remember also with the Draven, you can just ulti straight down the lane and at least get the caster minions once he picks up this full wave here. BB is going full tank now.
You picked up mana. When there's 10 creeps left, can you deplete your mana bar in time? He's going for a soft freeze here. Rearrange the creeps, but it kind of failed. He wanted them to...
He wants one of those melees to buy. All right, that's
Optimus is kind of
more swords. You know, why not? Get more swords. Get the potion as well. Elixir from Optimus. He's ready.
Elixir of Wrath right there. So he's ready for the showdown.
I'm not sure that was even worth it because he actually ended up staying much longer and could have lost like one. This can come down to like so few CS in difference, but
remember the fish show. Draven can always ulti down the lane. I heard a wise man tell me that one time.
And there is enough minions here with all the casters as well. All in once more time. They're going for it.
Optimus dropping low, baby.
Oh, BB!
Just not enough damage.
No, he knew he had to try and all in.
You can actually swing waves and just keep the pressure up.
You can, but you can also lose the poking war against the exhaust. Maybe the only thing we could have seen was Mad Love actually run Ignite for the all-in.
Yeah. But that's barrier feels like a failsafe. If you're already winning an all-in, you're say this like you might walk away, but the benefits you get from it is probably just a bit preferential base timing and a couple of extra CS up. And if you ever get caught into a battle, in Ignite's never going to help you. So in that sense, playing it safe with a barrier in case you miscalculate is the safer approach.
Mad Life did forget his trinket. Not the end of the world, but it does help you
I mean, there are some brush
Rarely,
creeps,
yeah,
especially now that brush that Greenfather's gift is in there.
Exactly. You can just use to spot the guy in the brush.
Especially when you're playing skill shot champs. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a melee, like auto attack range with only point and click, because then having knowledge that the guy's in the brush is really gonna help you. But if you know roughly where he is, you could actually predict skill shots.
Should see Uzi go with the E as well, level 1. Yes, he has picked it. I just checked on my own screen over here. Just better for level 1 trading and also potential push. If you can actually get it on almost all the minions, like we saw.
Yeah, really great E
there. And he got to hit Mad Life.
Follow-up trade thwarted by Mad Life though. Uzi could have maybe just went for more creeps. Seems to be a pattern: get one creep, get an auto attack. Sometimes gets punished. Chain auto attacks coming out here. Again, it is the push to level 2.
Exactly. The trading early on is not that impactful because you just don't have enough damage to really take them down. People have enough sustain with the Dorn's Blade coming in.
Yeah, 3 creeps up here for Uzi, which means he actually has quite a bit to play with. You only need 1 range creep, and then you can just switch to the melee. That also gets you level 2, so it's actually 6 creeps if you just get more melees.
This is tricky now. Mad Life is only level 1. He got level 2 now, and then he goes straight for the all-in.
Yeah. I feel like Uzi got baited there. Thought Mad Life would be level 1 for a bit longer because of the range creep still being alive. That one on the bottom right there, that was kind of low. Mad Life got a great trade there, despite being down on CS. Again, this is probably a matchup, if you keep it close enough CS that there's not a full Doran's difference on your base.
Exactly.
It's fine.
Also, again, when you're playing against Varus and Jace, as we saw earlier, like so much about like trading the mana from them. Mad Life is taking another good trade. Gets a few hits from the minis, actually ended up being quite bad for him. And he also mispositioned on the map because Relic was spawning and he positioned to the top side. Uzi just walked straight down to the bottom side.
Yeah, in a vacuum, this trade was nice because he goes for the blind dash damage with the vision reset in the brush, but he's playing at the opposite side, so he loses Relic.
Yeah, that is really, really important. Uzi got both Relics here, so good advance for him. And again, that mana we talked about, well, it goes back to 100%. And Mad Life keeps trying to trade, but he's losing out. Because also these minions are always chasing after him.
Especially if he goes later on. It's probably no points in queue yet for Uzi, but if he does the same trade later on again, what's going to happen is on the back end of his auto attacks is obviously the queue to proc those stacks then.
I mean, this is great for Uzi, honestly. Whenever he is taking trades, he's standing next to his counter minion. This is the first time he ignored the minions and went for it, and he actually got punished quite a bit.
Yeah, he predicted Mad Life jumping in there, but the queue itself just wasn't enough. Remember, these guys still have exhaust and barrier. But it might be worth using it on the front end more often here.
I mean, here Uzi could have just waited for the minion wave, because again, he's standing next to his caster minion. So whenever Mad Life jumps him, caster minions turn and hit Mad Life as well.
But I feel like he almost wanted Mad Life to come out the brush there. Just get a Q in the face, 2 autos, E-proc.
But didn't really give Uzi that big of an advantage compared to what we've seen before this one here. Mad Life has
saying right.
You're saying that's what he wanted, but once again, Mad Life, you're on the wrong side.
Mad Life's like, what are these things that keep spawning?
He doesn't seem to understand the relics at all. Uzi's been getting 2 free relics now, and that is pretty huge.
Because mana translated to health, that was just a disrespect Q. I don't need this Q.
That was a God be Q, don't worry.
Gotta be Qs go backwards.
Yeah, true. Now they just missed.
See, I wonder why they even hit the tower. That is a question I have. Like, I know it's a habit from AD carries, but you're never gonna kill that tower in the 1v1.
Maybe he's waiting for the melee minion to get in position. You can still interrupt this one with Q. Yeah. People really also gotta learn how to recall. Like, if you actually do want to recall
Press
there,
B.
just please, just like, you know, step
away from the turret.
Step away from that turret. Unless they're all baiting to like force a spell to be used. So
I don't think they're all baiting.
Probably not. It's actually funny because we think a lot of these players know exactly what they're doing in the 1v1 mode, and then you stand behind them when they actually do.
Yeah, then you walk into the room.
They have no clue what they're doing. They're just like, can I trade? Can I kill this guy? Let's go.
It's all a ruse. You walk into the room and then you realize they're just improvising. They're really good at improvising. Don't get me wrong. Although Uzi probably knows what he's doing.
I feel like Uzi has been in this situation before. He also didn't go with the Master Yi pick, so he's taking it very, very serious. Mad Life will get that one. Do not hit the minion before the tower. There you go. And now it's hard because the minions will hit it. Ooh.
Sword extra because of the CS differential.
It's an annoying thing with the minions.
Good base here from Uzi.
And Mad Life got his first relic when he was already full HP. Congratulations.
He's so used to losing them.
He's like, I just want this now. He didn't have to take it because his wave is pushing towards Uzi anyway.
It's just like, I will not see another one of my relics being lost to Uzi, so pushing out. So MadLife gets combat sets if he can surprise Uzi with the ulti, but it's pretty obvious when he turns into a giant bird.
Yeah, and he actually didn't even skill the ulti because it's so hard for him to use it properly and costs a lot of mana early on as well. Just went for another rank into his E, so he's like E, Q, 3 in E, 2 in Q. That is where he's focusing right now. Uzi, of course, took his ulti on the Varus.
Uzi might actually go for counter engage here with ulti.
Oh, he missed it! Uzi, you had the minions in your favor. You just have to stun the guy. You'd force his defensive summoners.
The LP would have landed that one.
Well, MadLife, he's near the relic, but it's not there because he took it before.
He's like, where is this thing?
Maybe spawn to like he's learning. He's learning. He's adapting.
Another good proximity trade here. Q misses obviously. Blocked by a minion.
He's actually on this. There we go. MadLife this time around. He gets it.
Success story, honestly. Improving. It's very important though, that particular relic. Right now Uzi has to wait for his next ultimate to come up. Because MadLife in 1v1 trades is obviously going to win. Quinn is catered to be a duelist. Varus obviously sent around pushing down.
Poking.
Okay.
Which has been pretty effective for Uzi, but he's going to hate himself for missing that ulti before.
That was a game-winning ulti.
Such a good position to just get these summoners away from MadLife. I like actually the sustain buy as well. It is so important because MadLife are not all-inning like Uzi and just killing him 100% to 0. He's like jumping him 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, consecutive set of all-ins, and he will only pull the trigger to go real hard if Uzi stays below that 60% health mark.
He still has 2 minion advantage once he's picked up all these things here. MadLife again jumping in, and Uzi winning the trade.
Ooh, this is rough for MadLife. So at worst, he'll have to base here.
And then he's too far down in CS, honestly.
Yeah, so that's a great trade. And now the sustain. So Uzi technically doesn't have to base anymore at all, because it's not like MadLife is picking up more items. If MadLife bases again, then Uzi will just get to the 100 CS here. So this is a really good opportunity. Also, he's skilling in more spells in the, or rank ups right now, so the AoE just keeps increasing, so it makes it much easier to get the CS, to keep the push going.
And he knows he can use the relics to get mana back, even though he doesn't need it for HP, so he can just keep flying away. Like every time you take one relic, it's like one ability you can use extra. And that's all he needs.
Couple minor things as well. Auto attacks 2 creeps to get the stack on. The E then finishes them off completely. Could finish off some other creeps after. Again, just trying to optimize push here, keeping MadLife locked up. We're looking at a 9 CS differential, 11 CS differential rather.
And serrated Dirk here from MadLife. Again, it's not often we get to see like completed items. Obviously, this is not fully completed just yet, but he has gone for that one. And with the lethality change, while it's not as effective in the early game anymore with the pure armor pen, serrated Dirk just gives him extra lethality. And at level 8, it actually evens out with the old one, with the old armor penetration. So it is fine now because Uzi is level 8 and it's on enemy level.
Yeah, MadLife wants to go here. He really wants to keep Uzi away from the wave. Really good trade. That's a dodge the ulti now though, because he's got stuck against minions coming in.
Yeah, a lot of minions coming, taking
I feel like Uzi could have kept going on that trade, especially since he had barrier and he had minion assistance. The fact that he goes to base right now.
But he wants to play it so safe because he has the CS advantage. He didn't want to risk no matter what. Even if he looks back and probably said, yes, I could have taken that trade. I think he also just saw the upfront damage. Now that, again, that armor penetration or lethality is kicking in from MadLife here with level 8, as we mentioned before. It's only going to get stronger in that case. But I think he just literally said, I'm going to play super safe. I'm winning on CS. And we're so close to 100.
If MadLife bases one more time, he has to skill the birdie. This could be the thing. If he gets level 9 bases, gets bird up, he has basically 2 ways to do it. Let's see how close he is. He's a half level away. Pretty far. Maybe a mistake for not skilling the ultimate here. It's kind of an emergency evacuation pod.
Now he's down in this trade here. Uzi's going for it. Getting MadLife extremely low. But once again, not chasing. Not chasing, just taking the free CS right in front of him.
He needs to get level 9 for the ulti now. Honestly, it's an all-in. 13 CS remain, 2 waves if Uzi does everything perfectly.
Uzi's not going to miss CS here. Like, he's not really under pressure. So used to farming as well. Getting every single one. One more wave for Uzi. That means MadLife needs to all-in without barrier, without ulti. There he gets level 9.
Does he skill?
Doesn't skill it.
Doesn't skill ulti. It's just going for...
But he has to go in here doing this wave. Uzi can just like focus on the minions all the way down. That's what he's doing. 1 E onto the caster minion. They're dead. Here's MadLife. He's going for it. Won't be able to do anything because he's in the minions as well. MadLife is just in such a tough spot.
Q doesn't connect. Looking for another Vault Boy.
For minions, 2 more minutes. The casters.
No Q because he missed it. That's over.
That's over.